This podcast is sponsored by the Hockey Village. Hockey can feel like a world you're supposed to already understand. And if you don't, it's easy to feel like you don't belong. But you're not behind, you're just new. The Hockey Village is a space built for you, for hockey moms and adult women players who want to learn the game and feel confident doing it. Inside, you'll find simple explanations, real support, and a community of women figuring it out together. Because learning hockey is easier when you don't have to do it alone. Join the Hockey Village, where you learn the game, love the game, and belong in the game.
Welcome to Two Women Who Give a Puck. My name is Sarah. And I'm Tara. And we are here to highlight the experiences of females in hockey, both players and coaches, as well as to provide tangible action items to create a more positive space within that environment. Nailed it. Nailed it. I got it. It's always exciting when we nailed it. And Tara and I are both wearing our wild gear because when we are recording this, it is the day after they won Game 6 against the Dallas Stars. So we're very excited that they made it past the first round, first time since 2015. And we want, to admit that always, but it's very exciting. And it was a good matchup. Yeah, it was fun. And it was a lot of fun to watch. So we're excited to watch them play the Avalanche next. Yep. Crossing our fingers, we get past that round as well. It's going to be tough. Yep. And the Frosts are also in the playoffs. So that is also extra exciting. I got my link to get some discounted tickets. So I'll probably take the kids to watch that. Yeah. Well, and if we're on Minnesota sports, the Timberwolves also won. They did Game 6. We don't talk about basketball very often, but it was a very winning night last. And the Twins won. And the Twins won. So I saw a meme that said the Vikings didn't lose. So it was a very winning night for Minnesota fans. But we're not here to talk about Minnesota hockey. No, actually, we are here with Lori Highby, who is the CEO and founder of Keystone Click. And she is, more importantly for this conversation about hockey, she is a founding board member for the Joseph Hockey Memorial Scholarship Fund, which we are super excited talking about because it is providing dollars to individuals to be able to play the sport, because we all know the sport of hockey is very expensive. Yeah. Ice time is expensive. It's expensive in Minnesota, but from what I've heard, out of state, the rest of the nation is even more expensive. And so it's unfortunate to have that be a barrier. So thank you so much for being on the podcast, Lori. We're excited to hear all about the foundation and all the great work you're doing to help more players get into the game. So welcome.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'm excited to be here. I'm a huge advocate for women in hockey, girls and women for sure, but just the sport in general. It's my favorite sport. I mean, right? It's the best sport.
Right. How can it not be your favorite sport once you started playing it? It's better than basketball.
Without a doubt.
When did you start playing hockey and how did you fall in love with the game?
Yeah, so just to clear the stage real quickly, Joseph Cocking is my late father. So he's the one obviously really heavily involved in hockey ever since he was a kid. So I'm the eldest of three. So obviously when he had his first kid, he put me on skates right away. And growing up in Illinois, girls and women in hockey wasn't really a thing at the time I was growing up. So I played for like a year or so when I was in my single digit ages. And then kind of went a different direction. Come to the age of 16 when I could drive. I started working at the ice rink in Wisconsin. So we moved in that time period. And my dad was actually coaching a Learn to Play Hockey for Adults camp at the ice rink. So I took it and then I started playing basically ever since then. So I was playing in I'll say co-ed leagues, but the reality is there was like 2 or 3 other women, right, in those leagues.
It's interesting that you mentioned adult hockey because I saw that on your website as well, that your dad coached that. And one of the things I think we've found a lot, it's so many girls that didn't get started when they were really young. So they got introduced to the game as adult was these learn to play adult camps. And so I thought super interesting that was also your path. So it seems to be like a recurring theme that we have with our guests. So Right. What was,
Yeah.
do you know why he started doing those camps?
Oh, yeah, that's a great question. I don't necessarily know the why. I can make some assumptions. He coached youth and high school and college his entire career, as well as playing and reffing. So he's done all the jobs, right? In hockey. Um and my assumption would be a lot of the parents were asking questions about how they could start playing, or they'd like to play, they like to give it a try, and so he gave it a shot, and it was extremely successful. And the program that he started, I can't even go. I mean, shoot, I was in high school, so that was a long time ago. It's still an active like camp that takes place at that ice rink. So like he started it many moons ago, and it's still a functioning camp. And the guy that now runs it, actually my dad coached him when he was in high school many years ago. So it's really cool that I like stay in touch with him, and he tells me like he still uses the foundation that my dad built in the camp, and so that's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. Like we've had more and more adult women specifically learn to play, and I guess I don't even know if there's like adult men actually learn to play programs. I think a lot of them kind of just jump into the leagues versus kind of going through clinics together. It's a great avenue for people to get involved and like just try it. Right. You're not, no commitment, just try it. Yep. Right. And yeah. And then you get sucked in.
Yeah.
And then you want to keep playing and yeah, buy all the equipment and do all this stuff. So that's so much fun to hear that these programs, which seem very new, were happening a long time ago, and that your dad was involved in that and getting more adults and parents could. So many parents, their kids start playing and they just have no idea what's going on, and to get them
Yeah.
ice to actually experience that is just a wonderful opportunity for them to have fun, and then for them to be able to understand what their kids are going through.
Without a doubt. It's a great bonding for kids and parents too. I think it's so awesome.
So you have your foundation, so in honor of your dad, is used for collecting scholarship funds to allow for kids to join hockey regardless of any financial barriers that they might have. And so why was that mission specifically so important for you, to your dad?
So the unfortunate story is my father was killed in a motorcycle accident in 2017, and it was early 2018 where this was all my mom's idea. Actually, she said, dad, hockey was 100% my dad's life. As I said, he played, he coached, he refed, he was an off ice official for AHL, and I mean, he's the resume is beautiful, right? When it comes to someone who's passionate about hockey, and the kids, um, is he dedicated so much time to that. So it was my mom's idea to start the foundation in his memory, to be able to support more kids to be able to play hockey, knowing, as you talked about, it's a very expensive sport. So our mission is to, and it's continuing to evolve, but we want to be able to at least provide and cover the fees for at least one level every year, from mini mites all the way to the college level. So, and we've been able to do that successfully since we founded the organization, and to date have provided over $60,000 worth of scholarships to youth in the greater Milwaukee area, to various hockey organizations. So, individuals, families apply for the scholarship. And also the whoever's in charge of like the finances within an organization can make a recommendation for someone. So the funds, the way we finance everything, or fund the scholarship dollars, is it's sent directly to the organization. So part of the application process is who is the treasurer of your organization, and then we verify the balance owed on behalf of that individual, and then we pay it directly to the organization. So we're covering their costs associated with the sport and to play for that season.
That's awesome. And how do you have different events that you put on? Can people donate directly?
Yeah, great question. So we host 3 events every year. Some are just kind of, and then some like random pop up things will happen occasionally, or others in the community will like a bar will host something and say all proceeds go to the foundation. But the big two actually, our annual adult hockey tournament. I'm going to emphasize that. It's an adult hockey tournament. That is taking place June 26th through 28th at Nagawaki Ice Rink, which is in Waukesha, Wisconsin. We've had teams travel. We also have an open, anyone can sign up and then we'll just place you on a team. Fun weekend. And then, and that's typically one of our biggest fundraisers. There's a lot of raffles and silent auction items. And then we have an annual golf outing, and that takes place August 14th. Again, lots of silent auction fundraisers, a really good time. But those two events, we get our biggest kind of dollars in to then ultimately disperse. And then we host the annual Milwaukee Admirals game, which is our AHL team in Milwaukee. And then they do an event where a portion of the ticket sales for that evening goes back to the foundation. So, and that's once a year. So those are the three big events that we do. But yeah, you can go to the website, joecockingmhsf.org, and you can donate directly there as well.
For your adult hockey tournament, is it male, like men's, women's, co-ed? How's that split up?
Yeah, so there's a women's only division, and that typically tends to be more like you just sign up individually and then you're placed on a team. And then there's the co-ed division, which is there's an upper and a lower division. So I say co-ed because again, there's a handful of women, myself included, that will play. So but usually the upper tends to be heavier on the men's side, where the lower division is more more solid mix. There's no rules as far as like how many women need to be out there. I played at tournaments like that before, but yeah.
And you said all that information's on your website?
Yep. Information on the website. We have a Facebook page that posts like probably is more current than the website even, but everything's also on Eventbrite. So I can, send links over. You can share them with your audience too if you like.
Yeah, we'll definitely include them in the show notes. So make sure to check them out. So it sounds like your dad was a lot of fun, had a ton of passion for the game, passed along that passion to his family and to many, many people around him. We'd love to get to know him better. Do you have a story that really captures who he was and just his big magnetism that brought people into hockey?
Oh man. Yeah, as you're saying that, like a million different stories are percolating through my head. I'm like, pick one. So I would say early on when I maybe like late 20s, in the co-ed team that I was playing on in the, beer league hockey. There's a lot of newbies on the team. And so I said, hey guys, what if we rented an hour of ice and I got my dad to like just teach us some basics, like how to break the puck out of the zone and, and they're all like, whatever, fine. I'm like, I'm buying an hour of ice. We're going to do this. We need to do this because we're getting our butts kicked every single game. So we did it. And my dad, without a doubt, if I ever asked him any hockey question, he was just like super excited. And, I'm grateful that I learned what I could from him. I know there's so much more that I never got to experience, but just he broke down to simplest terms, basic skills that had a huge impact, not just on us as a team, but like to this day, people still come to me and say, man, that was just the coolest thing. Your dad just taught me this one thing that like changed my game, and just like made me have more fun playing hockey. And so that was the way he did it. He broke down complex ideas into simple forms. And it was digestible and it had an impact.
Right. It's really neat. Yeah, and that's so hard with hockey. I mean, it can snowball where you start talking about one thing and then it's like, and then you have to do this, and then you do this, and then you throw in terms that like aren't in the real world, like icings at offsides. You just use all these terms and just expect everyone to know them. It is a talent to be able to break it down. And then for adult players are so hungry to pick up on everything. And sometimes they want to know all the hockey terminology and all the like they want to be doing a 2-1-2 check and
Well, everyone wants a slap shot, right? Everyone's like, I want a slap shot. Teach me how to do a slap shot. He's like, how about we teach you how to pass the puck out of the zone? Like, yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. Yeah, and catch a pass, right? Like, let's step one. Like, you stand here, you stand there.
and just a coaching skill in general. Like not everyone
Oh, for sure.
has that to be able to backtrack to like actual number one skill. Let's start
Yeah.
here. I mean, and then progress. And
Yeah.
it's so much fun. And it sounds like he had so much joy.
Without a doubt. Yeah.
And the fact that people remember it, years later, just speaks to the influence that he had.
For sure.
So we all being involved in hockey know that it's a lot. And I'm sure for new families, it feels more than a lot. I actually just met a new neighbor of ours, and she was like, I went the whole year and didn't get my kids skate sharpened because I didn't know that was a thing. And so what do you tell these families, about how to handle that? And like, obviously taking the financial piece out that helps, but when you have people that are new to hockey, like what can you offer them that's going to make their experience better and make them successful as hockey families?
One of the things, especially for newer hockey families, is understanding that hockey is a community in and of itself, and that leaning into that community can be extremely beneficial. So, talking to others that have children of similar age, or even kids that are older, and doing equipment swaps, or just taking an adult learn to skate class, so that you can at least speak the same language and understand. Like we're talking about, that there's a lot of little things to learn. Even as like the order of putting your equipment on can be stressful sometimes, right? Like, oh, I forgot to do this, or why, whatever. Packing your bag, like little nuances can have a big impact just on like the mental side of the game, so you're not stressed out. But leaning into that community and learning those little nuggets can be extremely supportive. Plus, I mean, Google is great. YouTube videos, there's tons of amazing content. I'm sure you guys are providing awesome content as well. But yeah, I'd say I'm a huge advocate for leading into the community.
I really love that that was what you said because, like, you and I both, like, that has been a lifesaver for us. But it also is like when we do struggle with stuff with our kids, it's nice, even though we've both played hockey forever and are in hockey families and whatever, there's still things that we come across. We're like, gosh, I really wish I had someone else to talk to. And so, even for, experienced families, that community is important. And then, I'm sure as you've experienced when life gets really hard, that community is also really important.
Totally, 100%, without a doubt.
And it's good to get that your recommendation at the beginning because it can look very intimidating from the outside. And it's a very different community than you find in other types of sports. I don't know why or how, but it feels so different than any other activity you might get involved with as a family. Right.
Well, I mean, my theory on that is that there's such it's a bigger financial and almost time investment, right? I mean, what other sport are you taking kids to their field at 5 a.m.? I mean, right? There's a different lifestyle that happens where, and there's different bonding that happens we've all been to hockey tournaments and hotels, and bonding. So much bonding happens here, right?
Right. Yes.
We'll just leave it at that.
What happened? I didn't say that hockey tournament.
For sure, right.
Tournament. Do you also use your inspirational hockey quote that you have behind you to encourage people to take chances?
Yeah, you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. I mean, that's a life model, honestly. It's jump in the deep end, push the boundaries, do what's uncomfortable. Your growth happens in that zone of discomfort. So I'm a big fan of this quote, and that's why I decided to put it on my wall that I use professionally. But it's a great conversation starter, and it's always fun. If I'm talking to someone new in the business world, and they know the source of this quote, it just like makes that conversation so much easier to have.
How many of those people think it's from The Office?
There's been one or two. I would say most of them. I mean, the proper recognition was given in that episode too, right? So I should just add my name, Lori Highby, underneath that too. And 3 layers of it's like quote citation.
It is a great quote, and hockey is incredibly hard. So it's, great to remember that you do have to be uncomfortable. You do have to put yourself out there. You do have to work past the discomfort. You do have to do it in order to get better, which is part of that quote is like, don't kind of stand in the corner. If you're the kid on the ice, you got to get out there and you got to try and you got to make mistakes. If you're the parent in the stands, maybe get uncomfortable, especially if you're joining a team later. If you join a new association in Pewys, those families have had
Years of bonding. Yeah.
so it can be intimidating to jump into that crowd. But I haven't met any hockey parent that's not open and willing to invite someone else in, even though maybe from the outside it looks like it's a very tight and close knit group. So that's a great quote in so many different aspects.
For sure. Yeah. I appreciate the shout out of it.
So thank you, so much for sharing the foundation. Like it's just we talk a lot about the struggles within hockey and kind of sometimes some of the frustrations and the bad things that are happening. Being on the female side, there's still a lot of opportunities to create a better, more welcoming environment. But we don't always want to be talking about the struggles. We want to be talking also about areas and people and places that are doing great things. Yeah. And inviting more people in and giving people that, safe and welcoming space to play the sport because it is the most amazing sport in the world. We want everyone to play it because there's just so many benefits that hockey could bring. And so we definitely wanted you on to just be able to share the story of your dad, who he was, what he brought to the hockey world, and then what you are now bringing into the hockey world in his memory, which is amazing. And so, everyone listening, make sure to check out the website. The link will be in the show notes. Donate if you can, if you're in the area, or if you want to travel. Join.
Yeah.
We have our buzzer beaters. They love a hockey game, and they have not experienced an out of town tournament. So you got women's division, but
Well, they could join the co-ed division too if they want.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Or yeah. Yep. Either or come and play some golf too.
So, final question for all of our guests is what do you want your legacy in hockey to be?
Oh boy, that's a big one. I think advocating for creating a space for children to still be able to play regardless of financial constraints, I think is a really good um place to be. I feel really good about even though it's a lot of work that goes into running this foundation, um, the day that we announce and we decide, scholarship distributions just hits the heart so deep and feels so damn good that that's what I want to be known for, I guess, from that perspective.
that's awesome. I can imagine that's a wonderful day and being able to see the joy on the kids at
Hmm.
family spaces.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today. It was really, really great to hear your story. And I think your legacy is I think you're well on your way to that. So congratulations with all that you're doing. Yes.
Cool. Thank you so much. Appreciate the time and the opportunity to share the story and talk about the foundation. Very much appreciated.
Yeah. Thank you so much for all the positivity you're bringing in to the hockey world. We need more of you. Yes, that's for sure.
All right. Cool.
So to end the episode, I want to remind all you ladies out there that you belong in hockey and you deserve to be a part of the greatest game in the world.
And don't forget to invite somebody else in.
This podcast is sponsored by the Hockey Village. Do you feel like everyone understands hockey except you? You're not alone and you're not behind. The Hockey Village helps hockey moms and adult women players actually understand the game in a way that finally makes sense. No pressure, no gatekeeping, just learning and support. Join the Hockey Village today.